Hey everyone, my name is Eric Hopkins, aka JEL. Welcome back to the Dragon's Den. So this last weekend, I got a chance to go check out A Quiet Place Day One, and I did a quick out of theater reaction here under my shorts section on my channel. So go check that out if you've not checked that out already. But as I said in that reaction, I thought this movie was an 8 out of 10 for me. And I want to break down a little bit why. Obviously, the movie was really well done, in my opinion, very well directed, and it definitely did a great job of telling the story that set up the films that we saw in the first two parts. This is a prequel film that takes place before A Quiet Place 1 and A Quiet Place Part 2. Obviously, day one, inferring the fact that this is the first day that the aliens landed. And it's with a whole new set of characters than what we saw in the first two parts. But at the same time, still intriguing nonetheless. This is the first opportunity I've had to see Joseph Quinn in a movie before he becomes the new Johnny Storm, Human Torch in the upcoming Fantastic Four reboot from Marvel Studios. So I was definitely interested to see what kind of acting he would bring to the table here. And I thought he did a really great job. The fact that his character was completely selfless in a lot of ways when it comes to Lupita Nyong'o's character, I thought was really touching, really endearing, and very heartwarming. And it just made you have the warm fuzzy feels inside, just knowing that there's some good people still in this world and has some humanity left in them, despite all the chaos that was going on around him in this movie. And the fact, despite the fact that he was having panic attacks and things like that, as anybody would in this current situation where you could possibly die by being completely destroyed by these aliens known as death angels. So it was really just endearing to see that from a character who didn't have to help out this Lupita Nyong'o character, but he did a great job in doing so. And of course, I'm kind of trying to skirt around the spoilers here a little bit because this is a non-spoiler review. What Lupita Nyong'o's character is dealing with in this movie is just very much akin to kind of what Chadwick Boseman went through. I'll just kind of say that. Obviously, Lupita Nyong'o worked with Chadwick Boseman on the Black Panther film, and of course in Infinity War and Endgame and things like that. So, yeah, so she got a chance to get to know Chadwick Boseman very well, and I know Lupita Nyong'o has been on record as saying that this role in A Quiet Place kind of helped her kind of deal with some of her emotions from Chadwick Boseman's unfortunate passing. So it was kind of therapeutic for her, as she mentioned. So I thought that was really interesting to note once you find out the backstory. Has a particular mission in mind that she wants to accomplish before the end of this movie. And at first, when you hear it, you're kind of like, well, that's kind of reckless and dangerous. Like, why would you want to be going out into the streets and stuff for this particular thing? But once you find out what that thing is and what the meaning is behind it, it makes a lot more sense. And it's like, oh, I can see why you would want to do that then. Of course you would. And that's kind of where the selflessness of Joseph Quinn's character comes in to kind of help her along that journey. So I thought that was absolutely outstanding. I thought it did a great job in the storytelling department. And of course, the Death Angels are really cool to look at and things like that. Anyway, and I just felt like they did a great job of, bringing the aliens back, obviously, from the first two films. You get to see them a little bit more in this at the same time. You don't see them a whole lot. They kind of pop up just randomly and give you those nice jump scares that you love to have in a horror movie and all that sort of good stuff. So, but the standout performance in this movie, in my opinion, is, of course, the cat. The cat's name in the movie is Frodo. So it's, again, kind of like a Lord of the Rings reference there as well. But as you can see here, it kind of gives you a pretty good idea of this little photo here of the personality of this cat a little bit. So it's just kind of cute because they're staring down potentially, death at this scene. And of course, the cat's just kind of got his head a little peeking out of the purse, which I thought was absolutely outstanding. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, it was just very well acted all the way through. And of course, like I said, the cat was one of the best actors I've seen on film. It's a little hard for me to buy the fact that the cat did not meow much to kind of attract attention to these aliens that are attracted to sound. But at the same time, cats are very stealthy a lot of times. If they don't meow much, they a lot of times don't make a whole lot of noise unless they're doing the zoomies or something. But at the same time, I just thought that we now have confirmation. Obviously, the cat was not CGI. It was a live action cat. So the fact that they got the cat to do a lot of the things that it did in the movie was absolutely outstanding. And of course, it's cute as a button. I mean, I'm a cat guy anyway, a little bit. I love dogs too. Don't get me wrong, but I just thought this cat, which I believe its real name is Schnitzel. Yeah, I mean, acted very well, and in my opinion, I thought it was absolutely cute. And of course, a little bow tie. Who doesn't love a little cat in a bow tie? I love that. But yeah, it was absolutely outstanding movie. A lot of fun, and of course, like I said, a lot of great jump scares, a lot of good tense moments. Kind of playing around with the established lore that the movies had already set up previously. I mean, it didn't really do a whole lot. The one negative I would have on it, it didn't really do a whole lot when it comes to the overall where the series is possibly going. This is more kind of a fun one-off to kind of show how all this kind of began a little bit. And in that regard, it did kind of help a little bit. But at the same time, you kind of got that from the prologue of the first or the second part of the franchise. They kind of showed a little bit from John Krasinski and Emily Blunt's character's perspective of this particular incident when the aliens came down from space or whatnot. So still a lot of questions to be answered, and I still want to see where this series goes, especially in A Quiet Place Part 3 or whatnot coming down the line here. And I hope that we'll eventually kind of, because I know the end of Part 2, they kind of was talking about how they kind of got a way to kind of combat them a little bit. So, and we found out that there's more people, more survivors out there. It'll be kind of interesting to see if we can kind of take that a little bit further and see where they end up going with, and if they end up trying to fight back against these creatures to retake the planet. That could be really cool to see as well. But I thought overall this film was a very good time at the theater. It was definitely a lot of tense moments, very heartwarming in spots as well. So I definitely recommend you go check it out. The acting is incredible, the story's pretty good, and it lives up to the Quiet Place name. So if you're a fan of the franchise, I highly recommend it. 8 out of 10 for me. But what did you guys think? Did you guys get a chance to go check out A Quiet Place Day One? Comment below. Let me know what you guys thought, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And until my next video, guys, take care and God bless.